28/09/2025. Recap. We talk about already we started NSG and continue with that NSG. We talked about ASG, which is Application Security Group. Correct?
Correct.
Now we supposed to talk about how securely we are going to connecting our resources, right? Before that, we have one more topic under this NSG that is called as a load balancer. Okay, Azure load balancer. You heard about load balancer. I think everyone know this concept. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And this topic we'll discuss is one of the important topic. Then we'll talk about the uh, securely accessing Azure Azure resources. Then we talk about that is called which is point to site, which is how to connecting the VPN and all. We'll talk about. Okay. So let's discuss about Azure load balancer. So we know the traditional method how the load balancer works. Before we talk about the Azure load balancer, in a traditional method, we know that is in how the traditional method load balance. What is basically load balancer? How it works? In the server infrastructure, we know that how it works with the load balancer, correct? What is load balancer? Okay, no worries. I think hope you can hear us, right, Dilshad? What is load balancer basically? Load balancer is managing network traffic, correct?
Yes.
And whatever that is the network is coming, and we need to make sure the resource, whatever we are going to provide the access, resource should be able to access end user. So end user doesn't know that is in which server or which applications is connecting, but he should be able to access, right? So when you talk about the load balancer, what we can do, we will prove that we will have that is in two web server. We'll make this two web server, and we will down one server. Okay, one server. Then load balancer, Azure load balancer has responsibilities manage the traffic to divert traffic or network route has to divert to another web server. The end user would be able to access web application, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, Neel.
Now, if you don't have that load balancer, what will happen here? If you create a web server 01 and web server 02, okay, and here we have the web application, and here we have the web application. What is the process? Are we going to give a multiple server name or multiple IP address to access the web application, or only one common name or IP address to access the web application? In this scenario, without load balancer, You need to provide here one web application. This say, for example, 10.0.1.4 or 10.0.1.5, right? And this has a public IP address. And this has a public IP address, correct? So you have the two public IP address. How are you going to give this? And if you give the public IP, this public IP address, what will happen? This server is down and this public IP address want to connect and then user impacted. And this is not a right method. So we always give that one common name or IP addresses for accessing the application. And the load balancer has a responsibilities to manage the traffic, correct? So to do that, in Azure Load Balancer, we need to have some terminology to understand what are the component we are getting here. In Azure Load Balancer, we need to have a, which we talked about, common IP address, right? That is called as front end IP address. Okay, front end IP address in Load Balancer. So when you are giving the common IP address to the end user, when the request hitting to the common IP address, there is a service in Load Balancer in Azure. There is a service in Azure called Load Balancer. This Load Balancer you need to feed. You need to tell that what is front end IP address. When that request hit to the Load Balancer, first, with the help of this front end IP address, how load balancer, managing network traffic. And those components are, we should know that this load balancer should have the region who are the web application server, correct? And that is we call as a backend pool. You need to add those server to load balancer. You need to tell to the load balancer, these are the backend pool, which is the VM1 for web server 1 and VM2 VM2 for web server 2. When the traffic is hitting to the load balancer should know that who are the web application server, that is called as a backend pool. Now this load balancer should know that is in with the help of health probe. Someone should tell to the load balancer, is that both the servers are up and running. If something goes wrong, that one VM1 is down, right? That is called as a heartbeat, right? The heartbeat. Every you have a settings, you have options to every minute you need to tell to that is you need to verify. Okay, every a minute or some second, right? Second, keep verifying, keep check health check of both the VMs or both the web application server and update to load balancer to manage network traffic, correct? If the load
Neel,
balancer doesn't know that is in, he will not be able to manage it.
Neel, I have one question.
Hmm.
How this VM and load balancer connect or verify
We'll
its?
discuss. We'll discuss. We just understand that what are the component we are coming into the load balancer. Okay.
Okay.
In the load balance, it is a specific service called load balancer. In this load balancer, we need to tell to the region what is the front end IP address. We need to create a front end IP address and we need to create a backend pool and we need to add those servers, right? And we need to create a health probe Health probe is responsibilities to check that is in health check of both the servers and intimate to the load balancer with the based on every minute or every few seconds. And if the server is down and this health probe is verified, wait for the few seconds, few minutes, and after that few minutes it is no responded, that confirm that the server is no more, and that information has to update to the load balancer, and load balancer has to manage the traffic to divert the other VM, right?
So load balancer working as a gateway like that.
Yes, it is the intermediate between the end user connecting to hitting to first. It is a load balancer, which is front end IP address.
100 IP. Okay.
Now that load balancer has a managing here, we have the backend pool, we have a health probe, right? Then we have the, which is called as a network security role. Okay, these are all has to be configured, managed and configured. Then our load balancer would work. So
So
basically,
these all are these
hmm,
all are services which is a HP and network security
correct.
role and BP under
Yes,
load balancer, right?
correct. Azure load balancer. In this, we need to manage for here front end IP address, which is FIP means front end IP, backend pool, which is called BP, backend pool. You need to create this component, okay? Backend pool, and then HP, what is called as
Health
health probe,
proof.
right? And then you have a rules. You need to create it, right? And then it is complete load balancer, right? This is complete. Say for example, now let me make you to little more understanding here. MS Paint. Okay, let's see this how it works here. Because I'm a end user here. Example. Let's manage for first our VMs. Web app 1. Okay, and this is for web app 2. Okay, now this end user, right? Here we need to bring a load balancer. The service. Okay, this load balancer have that component. We need to manage here front end IP address, backend pool, health probe, right? Now if is this load balancer is going to connecting to both the VMs, right? Now, if the end user, now we have the internet here. End user have a common public IP address. Okay, he's hitting to first internet, and then he's hitting to load balancer, and this load balancer has to manage the traffic, right? This is how it should works. Let me just Azure load balancer. Just clear diagram, guys.
Yes, Neil.
Configuration part. It's very simple. We know the design, but we need to understand that how it is going to be configured load balancer. We will prove that. We'll create a one web application here. We'll create another web application. What are the requirement here we would be needed? The lab is creating VNet, creating subnet, creating network security group, install 2 VM, and configure IAS for web application, right? Then install, create Azure load balancer, and configure Azure load balancer. When you're talking about configure, you would come this all FIP, front end IP address, backend pool, health probe, and configuration. Then test, verify by stopping one of, just verifying accessing application, web application. The load balancer has to managing network traffic. I will tell you that is when you can access this web application with the common IP address, and maybe some of you might connect for in verifying. Some of might connect web app 1 or web app 2, right? It is managing the network. Now what we can do, will test how the actual load balancer work. We will test by stopping one web application server, correct? Then obviously this load balancer has to manage, correct? What is going to do here? Load balancer has to manage network traffic to divert to which machine? Web app 2, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, Neil. Neil, I have one question related
Mhm.
this load balancing. Before load balancing, how can we manage same thing? Is there any other protocol or something?
Yeah, we'll come this inside it. What are the protocol? How the authentication happening? And it's not
No,
only
no.
that. I gave the
Before
example.
load balancing, like suppose I'm not aware of load balancing. So means earlier, how can we manage same thing? There is any other option like that?
Earlier, other managing means
Means before load balancing.
it has to be load balancer. And earlier, we are using traditional method load balancer. We are using heard about cluster
Yes,
and
and
load
before
balancer.
cluster, is there anything
You
related
have that
like
multiple IP
Robin,
addresses.
DNS, round robin like that? Any
See,
services there?
there is a lot of mechan that has to created multiple IP addresses. Earlier, you have the one machines have dual IP addresses, right? And connecting for one, as I said here earlier, you have the one public IP, second IP addresses. Now after that is we got the cluster, and cluster is a lot of in the cluster. It is a two things again. What is that? High availability and load balancer. So this is taken care for high availability. If the one server is down, the other server will be make sure that others should be up and running. But this load balancer is managing for only network traffic. It is not going to taken care to your resource up and running on. It is only
But
just
in backend, everything is similar, right? In like HA and LB.
no, it's not similar. HA is taken care with resource management. High availability is managing for your resource. What does mean server? Your servers.
Hmm, correct.
Servers is one server is down. Okay, one server is down. Its other server is it is
If
it's
not
called as
responding
active
within a
passive.
some active
Ah,
passive, correct.
but here it is not like load balancer is the traffic managing the traffic, network traffic, right? And here one server is down, it is not going to taken care the resources. It is going to just divert the network. Why you can go and check it for this network.
But uh, mm,
Don't confuse with this cluster and this high availability. Forget about. Now
okay.
think about it is only load balancer has it always in Azure. You can manage not only for the understanding I give the web applications. You
Hmm.
can manage for many things. To ultimately you need to load the balance for accessing the resources. Now think about take a best example of Amazon and Flipkart. Now there is an festival season.
Right,
They are giving the huge offer, right?
right,
Think about crore together users are accessing that web portal, isn't it?
correct.
And do you think that they were using for common web application is that is an Amazon.com. The behind they're accessing the multiple product what they needed, and there are a lot of pages are there, right? And this is everything is managed same process. The same process is managing behind for that is in few area wise, location wise is managing their network traffic. If it is not managing proper load balancer, what will happen?
Hello.
Network
Someone in
traffic will
class
increase,
or
right?
now? Yeah.
Yeah. Who is that?
No.
I'm audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, yes, that's it.
Now I connected with my mobile. Sorry,
Oh,
yeah. So
no
my
worries, no worries.
headphone not working right now.
No worries. Thanks for coming back. And I hope whatever I explained you here.
Yes, yeah. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Actually, I was so I sent the message in chat as well.
Okay.
I just wanted to know about load balancer. This is only used for web application
No,
manage
not only
only.
web application. Everything you wanted to bring that is to the managing load balancer, you can configure it. Not only web application, everything. You have the
Okay.
services. Now here, earlier we were using for, and you talk about here, right? What are the services we were managing?
Yeah,
We are
network and
file
yeah,
server we were managing, print server we were
yes,
managing,
yeah, correct.
and what is called
DNS.
DSCP we are managing,
Okay,
right? DNS we were managing, right? These are all critical services for the organization, and
okay,
we cannot say this is down because of this, and we have to take care. If it is down, the service should be up and running with the help of these services, isn't it?
okay.
Same
Means
thing.
means if we wanted to develop the load balancer between DHCP, so we need to configure another
Yeah,
DHCP.
yeah. You
Okay,
can see that on-premise DSCP, ultimately load balancer doesn't matter. You can what service you are handling. You need to tell to
okay,
the load balancer. Why you tell me? This is I taken example web application. If you instead of web application, what service you are using here? You tell me what are the backend pool here. Now backend pool for me. Now currently the lab is going to talk about web application. Correct?
okay,
Web application. Now the backend pull for load balancer, which server you are going to. If you have the file server, you have print server, you have the DSCP, DNS. Many services are there. Those you can involve to load balancer. But
okay,
ultimately, the end user is accessing now when you go to the portal. Okay, when you go to the portal, if you type the IP address, browser, when you type the IP address, he should get that is a web page, isn't it? Yes or no? Same
Yes.
things if the end user
mhm,
trying to access some file server. See, he doesn't know, he don't bother about which server is connecting, how I'm accessing, but he should be able to access first. That's the important. That's our
okay.
goal,
Yeah. Mhm.
isn't it?
So, Neil, load balancing only for web application or like software, or there is option for resources as well.
What is that? Load
Uh,
balancer?
Load balancer we can use only for like website purpose only, or we can configure on resource as well.
No,
Like if any CPU will go high above 85 or
that
like
is
that,
you
so it
manage for
automatically
the, no. That is you can manage for the scaling part.
scaling. Correct.
Okay,
So
that
okay,
is,
that different.
yeah, in you can integrate with that. You can manage for this is in a load balancer. See, load balancer is just you, I'm giving you, that is I'm checking the health check, and I'm that what are the information coming to me, I'm helping you. Again, if this VM1 is hitting to the more user, load balancer
So
is up and running, both the servers are up and running, and the traffic is coming more, and this person is unable to manage. Now you plan for, based on the use cases, to bring one more server here, isn't it? To bring one more server to manage for your CPU utilization, your network
so
utilization.
how VM1 informed to load balancer,
That
see
is persons
loading.
called health probe. The health probe your service you are configuring here.
So that services we can configure where on application level or resource level.
No,
Resources like CPU, RAM, and this all things.
no. CPU, memory, and disk you can manage from the scaling level.
Is it possible, Neil, you can show me this option?
Yeah, yeah. That's what. Wait for so.
Okay.
Just to don't mix up with everything. Just what
Okay.
we are
Okay.
talking about. We are talking about Azure load balancer. What are is this Azure load balancing is? We have to make sure. I'm taking one example, web application. This web
Correct.
application has to be accessed all the time. The end user doesn't matter for him to, you know,
Data will come from
come
web one
from
or
which
web
server
two.
it is, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But our responsibility as a cloud administrator responsibility is making sure my load balancer has to work all the time. To know that what are the component we need to understand and all, you will be getting where you are going to configuring and all these things. Clear? Good to go?
Yes, yeah.
Right. So what are things we would need it? We would need it VNet, subnet, network security group. We have to have a two machines. We have to create a load balancer, and this is a service. Then we are talking about all the configurations part.
Okay.
Neil, I'm sorry. I have a question.
Go ahead.
So if we have the requirement from the client.
Hmm.
So all things should be configured, or
Hmm.
we will ask for it for a load balancer
Hmm.
to the client.
Hmm.
My question is, we need to create all things by self,
Yes.
or we need
No, no,
to
no, no, no,
check
no,
with
no.
them first. You
No.
need to load
This is
balance
very
it.
much mandatory to have the load balance. No one will ask. Now, client has a critical application. Okay.
Okay.
That end user, all his employees going to accessing for his applications. He will tell that this application is very critical and all the time should be up and running, right?
Okay.
We as a service provider, as a cloud administrator, there is a solution for that. We have to have implement. We need to intimate to the when you are onboarding to the newly those application to the cloud, and this is a very much mandatory and essential service to be configured those critical applications into bringing into the bringing into the load balancer.
Okay.
It is very much essential service to if you are not configure the load balancer, they might have their own traditional method. As I said here, cluster and high availability load balance. They have done it in a on-premise infrastructure. They already might be available, and we need to ask them. Okay, what are the if we come to in a cloud infrastructure, we need to ask them an assessment of done with the infrastructure, right? We will come to know, okay, how many servers are there, how many critical applications are there, how you guys are managing currently, what is the method you are using. So all you will come to know that automatically these are all infra method, right? So when those services are coming to the cloud Azure, these are all come to the next step to be configured. Correct?
Okay.
Good to go?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So let's come back here. Let's go to the portal.azure.com. So I hope everyone are already working with your lab, whatever so far we talked about topics, or not sure. Hmm?
Topics are cleared, Anil.
No,
Theoretical
topics
part
clear,
is
but you guys are doing lab or not? That's important.
yeah, lab. Last two classes went pending. I already told you rated this interview and this all things.
Good, good, no problem.
So
That's I appreciate our honest answer. That's good. How about others?
The
Yeah. Same with me. Yeah. Actually.
last class pending in the energy part.
Okay, no worries. Take your time because I'll tell you, and Saurabh is already experienced. The more you understood, and I'm sure you can update in your profile, start updating in your resume. You can tell that having not only skill, you can tell that having experience on cloud infrastructure, and you can update your profile and you can explain during the interview. These are things I'm doing.
Okay, Neil. So in the CV, if I need to mention about Azure,
Mm.
so need to mention everything like I know VNet and
Yeah,
subnet,
yeah,
everything.
yes.
Okay.
You see, you don't mention for the like having the skills
topics.
on Winite and all. Do not, just to have some terminology, having experience on virtual network, right? Virtual network and sub. Just make it only one net. And if they ask you, do you know how that virtual network works? Do you know that is how the configuration is done?
Yeah.
And if I have a two network and it's a different region, how do I create it? If they ask this kind
Okay.
of question, your answer would be yes, we recently worked on that, there was requirement, got the new, we have recently onboarded from the customer, there was a different location, and with the help of the network peering we have configured successfully. If you tell that only word called network peering, that automatically connected, okay, this person has some knowledge on cloud. You're getting, you need to bring him to see, these are all very much needed the skill. What are those? Azure network, Azure storage, Azure Active Directory, which is called Enter ID. You have to learn this role. Azure VM, Azure Backup and Restore, Mention all these things in your profile. Azure monitor. What else you needed? You are already doing the traditional method, isn't it? And you are bringing it all in one place called Azure. Network managing, storage managing, Active Directory managing, virtual machine managing, backup and restore managing. How do your log analytics and all comes under for the monitor?
Thanks, Nick.
This
Yeah.
is what you
Yeah.
need to. And then if they ask you how the storage works, what kind of storage you created, end user customer ask you, I need this is a this many capacity, this many space. I have around 100 terabyte data. I wanted to move the entire things in a new storage or new region. I wanted to manage for entire data migrating to the different location. And we have that is a lot of users are there in on premises. We need to provide the permission for them the specific applications, and we need to onboard those applications to the Azure. And based on their roles and designation, we need to provide the access. And then we should have the enter ID, which is you need to manage a role based access control, RBAC process and policies. We have created virtual machine, multiple virtual machine. There is a project and it's coming here, and we need to create the specific configuration, specific template. And in this VM, we will come to know that all availability zone, scaling, availability set, all we need to talk about in Azure VM. Obviously, is common for how do you taking a backup and restore all the resources. And then you're going to monitoring, which is security point of view, who access what, when they logged in, what is that logs, and how do we tracking all these things. You need to mention all these things and start working on that. Okay, this is the
Okay.
training for you to become a cloud administrator. In the cloud administrator, what are the service, what are the things you are understanding? These are all. In the network we are talking about now. So for what we discussed about started with IP address, isn't it? We started about traditional method, subnet mask, and we understood the calculation part. Now we talked about VNet, how to create a VNet. We understood how to create a subnet, and we understood that is in how to uh, manage within VNet and subnet, how is getting connected, correct? And also we talked about multiple VNet, multiple VNet and multiple subnet, how it is connected. We understood. Then we talked about how that is in securely we are accessing network security group, how we are managing for that is in ASG, managing for the inbound and outbound traffic role configuring. Now we are talking about in Azure network called as a load balancer. These are all very much needed to understand this entire part of the network, right? And we'll have the topic in Azure. Again, we'll have a topic called as securely accessing the network, accessing the resources. What is that? We have the point to site configuration, and we'll have some DNS name resolving. In Azure, this topic we need to discuss. You'll come to know that what are things beyond this. I don't think so they're going to ask you beyond this in Azure network.
Thank
Clear?
you, Neel.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, clear.
Neil, which
Hmm.
type of error coming means
We'll talk.
commonly
We'll
real
talk.
environment?
We'll talk. We'll talk. There are a lot of things are there. Okay.
No, no.
So
I want to know about this ASG and NSG and VM
uh,
while creating
see,
with
there is
complete.
basically error you won't get it when you right way to configuring, but there will be a conflict. Okay, people are you give this basically in it. Okay, this will park it few seconds. Okay, let's cover up this part quickly.
Oh, sure.
Okay, okay, what you need to do, go to this create virtual network. I'm just going to the step by step. So far what we created, what we done it. This is vnet underscore. Okay, just say vnet1. Okay, and this Resource group should be, you can create different one. RG underscore, you can say load balancer. Okay. And this is VNet one. Next. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Wait. We should go to the IP address. Should be here. Subnet 1. One dot zero. Next. Create. Okay. VNet done. Subnet done. And you can create a NSG. What are the NSG role you would need for inbound role? You would need for the RDP and HTTP, correct? The role has to be enabled because web applications we are creating.
Correct.
Now let's build for the 2 VM. Okay. This 2019. I'm not going to use this default one. For the configuration part, you wanted to use for the default one, but let's go with the proper way. You should be having for VNet 1 and load balance subnet 1, and you'll be connected and the flow. So for what we discussed, and you're understanding that, right? Let's go to the networking. Here you can make it none. Okay, network security group. Create it. All right, go to resource. Should be web app 1, and I'll go to and create it. For the testing purpose, we would need for the 2 machine, right? Web app 2. Now VNet 1 is done, and subnetting done, and the 2 VM we are creating now. And what we need to do, we need to, for the accessing part, we need to configure NSG, correct? And allow for the RDP and HTTP, right?
Right, Neil.
Can you able to access now for the web application 1 here? Copy this. Can you able to access now?
No,
No,
Neil.
right? No. So how do you manage it? We have to go to network security group.
We
Then
have to
configure
create
the,
network security.
right, and we have to configure the inbound traffic and allow the services called, which is network security group. We can manage for create a network security group, load balancer, and NSG underscore load balancer. Next, and next, we're just creating the network security group, and configurations we need to do after this, and associated to subnetting. Okay, create this NSG, configure it NSG, associate to subnet instead of okay, these two are belongs to one subnet. Okay, correct? NSG setting inbound security role. Add, first you need to talk about RDP
RDP.
and allow. Okay, web app server RDP, add it, and same things add. Second one is HTTP and application access. Okay, 3389 and HTTP. Now NSG created and associated to, go to the subnet, associate, subnet 1 and OK. Now if you come back to the web application 1 and go to the networking, network setting, web application 2, networking, network setting. Since it's associated to subnetting, automatically it is inherited to, you see, both the VM1 and VM2. Correct? NSG lab load balancer. Now, earlier I was not able to connecting. Now I should be able to connecting. Now log into this machine. Web application 1. And take the second IP address, second machine IP address. This is Connect server. Hmm. Okay, what we can do, we'll quickly install and configure the web application for testing purpose. creating Azure load balancer. Before that, what we need to do here, I install and configure
IS.
IS server, IS configuration. I have written here. Okay. Now after this, you can make it 6, 7, 8, and 9. Second server. Next. Okay. What we can do for verifying which server is connecting, web applications you're connecting to manage, we'll just, let me just take the public IP address VM1. Now I should be able to accessing my web application. Copy this, HTTP, and hit enter. Okay, I'm accessing for this. Now what we need to do, we need to just tell to that is I'm coming from the VM1. Okay, where you can do that in a C colon inetpub on www root. There is a page, web page default page. We can edit this. Okay, what we can do, we'll just make it connecting.
From this server.
Yeah, just verifying this connecting from web app and server. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Save it. Now come back and see this. It should be able to see this connecting from web application. Okay, good. Now quickly go to the second machine, close this, and same things. What is the IP address of my two server IP address? And is also trying to accessing for this public IP address. Hit enter, it's coming, right? It's connected web application 2. Now let me just change it. inet pub. Now next time when you're going to connect it, there won't be a two common public IP address. It should be one common public IP address to associating with the load balancer. These common public IP address would be disappeared. You need to remove this. Okay. Connecting
Okay.
from to server, right? And just change this 20. Okay. Let's save this. And now come back here. Not HTTPS, it should be HTTP. Okay, done. So setup platform is ready now, right? Now, how do you bring this to in a load balancer? Now the service called as load balancer. We have VNet 1, NSG, and VM1 and VM2. And then take it, another one is called load balancer. Okay, there is a service called as a load balancer. In this load balancer, you need to create a load balancer. In a load balancer, we have a two topic, which is okay in a Azure load balancer. We have basic and we have a standard. We will take the standard. If you talk about the basic, it is very less security, open for all the ports, and it has a more security, and obviously the cost will be increased. And one thing is, when you go to the basic, you should create, it's a mandatory to have availability set. Okay, then you add those servers to the availability set. For the standard, you can have a standalone server. Right now, create a resource group. Name of the load balancer. What is that? Load balancer underscore web app servers. Okay. Now see here. Okay, that basic is already removed for that is standard now. We are going to use this. Now they have removed for this basic. Now they put into this gateway. Second one is. Earlier it was basic now. Now they changed to the gateway now. You no need to do have this. We'll take about the standard. Now type we will take for the public. And now you know this regional and global. You are connecting to the regional within the region. and global you have the other region. Let's talk about the regional only. Now here you can see this. You're creating load balancer. You have that is in front IP address, which is front line IP address, which we're talking about, right? For load balancer, front IP address. Now you need to create this. This group is done. Okay, here it is. Add a front end IP address, and this is going to creating one common IP address. Okay, what are you going to do? Load balancer underscore front end IP address. And I don't have that is in public IP address. I would create a new public IP address, which is load balancer underscore public IP address, front end public IP address. Okay, and it would be a static. It's taken static. Save it and save this. And remember, this IP address is coming now. It is going to associate it with the both the VM. We need to remove that what IP addresses we received for the earlier one. This IP address we need to remove it. Okay, let load balancer has to manage to associate that public IP address to these VMs. Getting my point? Next, you see here backend pool. These are all we talked about backend pool, front end IP address, right? Where it is coming here? It is coming to load balancer, correct? When you're going to configuring whatever the front end IP address backend pool you created, you are going to give this all the roles and configuration here. Let's create for backend pool. Now, what is the backend pool here? Backend pool is whatever the VM you created, correct?
Okay.
That backend pool is our VMs. Now you would be able to associate those VMs. You can provide the name of the backend pool, load balancer, BP, virtual network is VNet1. Okay. And you wanted to add the NIC or IP addresses. If you want to add the IP address or NIC, either one, you can click on the add. You would be able to see the both the servers here. See this web app 1 and web app 2. You need to add these two servers associated to both the VMs, correct? Good to go. Save. Backend pool is done. Now already inbound role is already configured. You no need to worry about, and outbound role is not required, and then it's created. Once a load balancer is created, you need to create one more important called as a health probe. This is most important. And then the roles and configuration has to be done. Configuration is clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So load balancer is ready now, associated both the VMs. The most important, you need to remove this public IP address, which is already associated. Let's complete this, then we can do that later. And once it is removed, since we have already associated to these VMs associated to the backend pool, right? Back as a backend pool to the load balancer, can go to the network setting, web application 1. And the moment you change this public IP, it will be get disconnected. Okay. We have to go to this IP config here to disassociate. We need to disassociate before the region. Go to the load balancer is ready or not. Okay, done. Go to load balancer web application servers. Okay, we missed it. B. Can we rename it? Right, now come back here, you see the backend roles. Now you can see the front end IP address, right? And this is the public IP, it should be associated to the both the machine. So what we need to do, we need to disassociate. We'll do that. Backend pool, 2 VM I've added here, and health probe. You see, this is the most important. You need to add it and create that is in load balancer underscore HP. Now see this protocol we are using, port number 80. Now you can see the interval of, you have the default, how many seconds are there? 5 seconds. You want it to increase or decrease, you can do it for this. The amount of time between the probe attempt, every 5 seconds is go and check it, your server.
Snell, how it will check? Means sending us some packet or something
Yeah,
to
it is going to check for the same all aspect pinging, right? You are getting
ICMP.
connect ICMP, right? Since we are
Okay.
using the TCP protocol, right? And if it is keep on checking for the server connectivity, obviously the one network connectivity is going to check, right? If it is 5 seconds, it's not respond is not coming. Obviously, it will tell that it is in this health probe is intimating to
Load balancing.
load balancer is no more now, right? Now this part is most we got it frontline configuration, backend pool, health probe. Now here is the roles. We need to add all whatever so far we created, right? So here it is load balancer underscore rules. What is the front end IP address? This is created. Backend pool we created already, and TCP port number 80. Backend port number is 80. Health probe we created. Session persistence, if you wanted to manage with, you can use it, but now you can use it none. So depends on the requirement, you can use it source IP and protocol, right? Successive requests from the same client may be handled by any virtual machines. Let's keep the none as of now. Idle timeout, it's a default 4 minute. If you're already accessing that web application, if it's idle that web application, it will wait for the 4 minute and disconnect it. And you have to recreate the uh, re-accessing for that. Okay, save it. Now before we saving it, what we need to do quickly, we need to disassociate with the earlier one we got the web applications. Done. So this load balancer completed now, configuration part. Now when I disassociated with this, okay, interface, why it is not coming here?
How do we get the coming?
You're breaking up, not here properly. You need to go back to this IP address and disassociate. Why it is coming this way? Let's wait for a few seconds. front end IP address would be, this has to be associated 135 to the both the machines. It should be removed from here. Okay, IP configuration. You should be go and see this IP config. You should be going to disassociate with this, okay, and save this. And now let's load balancer has responsibilities to associate this that IP address. Getting my point here? Now come back this VM1 IP config. Now you can go back overview. Now you would be able to see 135. The public IP address should be received 135 here. Virtual machine. Why it is not coming here? This. Here in this IP address, this is go to this configuration. This associate IP address. save this. This one server, why it is not accessing? Just only intention to whatever the common public IP it received earlier, right? That has to be disassociated, and that load balancer front end IP address has to be associated this to VM. Then only your load balancer should work, right? Here, this load balancer, the front end IP address has to be associated. IP config here, public IP address, right? So this public IP address, since we have already associated, it should be load balancer has to be taken care. Okay, now this server, why it is not coming? Web application 2.1.1 network setting. Okay, this is done already. Let's go
Yeah,
back
hi.
to,
Hello, Neel.
yeah, hi.
Neel, I have one question. In load balancer, no need to configuration network interface.
In load balancer, no need to.
Network interface. In last class, we have also configuration of network interface in VM1
Network
and
interface, yeah, correct. No need to configure. Correct. Network interface already taken care from the VM when you're going to build it. This is the interface, right? IP config. But only we're just disassociating IP. That's done. Okay. Both VM. This is 2156 is done. And second one is web applications 2 is done. Disassociated public IP address. And when you go back to the other machine web application 1, okay, and network setting, IP config interface, right? Now IP configuration, IP config here, the public IP disassociated, right? So whatever earlier is taken original public IP we disassociated. Now this load balancer has to be taken care to associate to the both the VMs, right? Now we have already configured for load balancer role. In the load balancer role we have created for our front end IP address and a backend pool and health probe. All three we have configured. Now see here, what is the frontend IP address? This frontend IP address has to be, when you open this frontend IP address, connect this here. Okay. HTTP. Just see which machine is going to connecting now. Now see here, I'm using the common public IP address. Now you can also try. I'm giving you this. Try with this from your side and see that which server is connecting now. I am connecting web applications to server. This load balancer is managing. This is my common public IP
I'm
address.
also connected with web app to server.
Web to server, right?
Yes.
And try other one quickly, please. Okay.
connecting web server.
Connecting to app server.
Yes.
App server 1.
Web app server 2.
Okay, you also connecting app server 2. How about others?
Actually, one IP is there only. Okay. Oh, sorry. Nothing.
Okay, you can just go to the other one. Is I'm just going to check other browser. Let's see. Quickly try everyone, please. It should be someone has to be connecting to the one as well.
I'm connected on one
Perfect,
server.
perfect,
Yes.
perfect. See, I'm in a different server now. I should be able to see which server. See, connecting from web application server 1, right? Now see that my load balancer is managing, correct? Some of the user is going to connecting to the web application 1, some of the user connecting to
2.
2. That is who is managing all, right? Load balancer is handling, correct? So what will happen if the one server is down? Can this load balancer diverting all the traffic to 2? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
whoever
right.
connecting 1 now, they should be able to connecting 2, right? Let me just down the server. Now see this, both the VMs, what is the IP address associated now? 135, correct?
Correct.
Yes, right.
That load balancer is going to managing connecting. Now let me just 2, I'm going to stop this machine, right? Okay, let's stop the 1 machine. More, which machine is connected, 2 or 1?
I think 2.
2.
True.
Okay, let's stop the machine 2. Okay, that's it. Now see, your load balancer is going to man. Now earlier here I have used for the different browser, it was connecting to me web server 1. Obviously it's going to connecting web server 1 because 2 is going to down. Now here earlier I was trying to, where it was my, it was trying to this one, web 2, right? Now you can see this automatically, it is going to change to web applications 2. You can also refresh your browser. Understood everyone?
Yes.
But
Mm,
Neil,
yes.
mine not changing. It's showing, still showing web app.
It will because some browser cache is going to be updated and it will get changed.
Actually, I'm using in incognito mode. So let
Then
me.
it should be refreshed. Still it is processing to stopping that machine. Now is 2, right? Let me refresh it here. It should
Still
get
not.
changed. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just going
Should I?
to see this.
Okay. So we have one question.
Hmm.
So we have the two VMs. So
Hmm.
we created one application. So
Hmm.
I wanted to know that the data should be reflect with each other between VM one and two. But
Yeah,
means I mean, yeah. So how?
that has to be taken care of web application. Na? From network team, we are managing Azure network team has taken care for verifying. Now that both the server should be the same, correct? Now for
Yes.
testing purpose, I have taken the example web application. That the when you take the same data, now either he's accessing for the now the end user doesn't matter for him. He he's trying to accessing common public IP address. This one, right? You gave this IP
Uh-huh.
address. Now this IP address we give the end user, right? Now he's accessing for that. What is the web application he should receive here? He should receive to the either obviously the two servers should be same, correct?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Yeah, but data, original data will remain same in both.
See now how you are accessing the Amazon portal
Uh, URL,
URL, right?
public IP. Yeah, yeah.
Instead of the IP address, you are going to URL. Now
Yes,
everyone should be the same page,
yes.
but backend, what is the process happening here? This is a process going to happening. That is taken care by the web development and all the every web page you are going to. That page has to be configured for all the servers and whichever web applications. This is all web server, right? It's all web server.
Okay.
And IAS server, IAS managing applications team and development team has responsibilities. Whatever the page is going to create it, they're uploading for this all the servers same. For you, this data concept we cannot manage it. We managing for how that is going to reach to the web applications and how the network traffic is going to managing. And if you talk about this data, it is we need to discuss with app development team or application development team. And that is IAS configurations, all it's all is involved, right? For you guys to understanding, I created two web applications. So both the pages are same. Now both the pages are same, right? To understanding, if without renaming a page should be same, getting same, na? Now I have renamed the page connecting to the server one, connecting to two server. If without connecting that, without editing that common page, how did you understand that is coming from where? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
I purposefully renamed how this load balancer handling and which server is connecting. To understand that, I renamed that web page. Okay, this web load balancer is traffic is diverting to server one. Now you have seen that you observed some of you connected server one, some of you connected server two. To understanding that, this load balancer is managing the network traffic, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
If I'm not renaming that, you would be able to not understanding, okay, which server is connected backend.
Right.
That understanding purpose I rename, but obviously the rename will not be there.
Okay.
In a production, that page will be going to access it.
I think they should before connecting with load balancer, other teams like developer or database team, they complete the action on both server.
It should be
Means technical,
same
yeah,
data should be there.
correct. So those steps handled by DBA or
Yes,
web.
yes, and development team and all.
Yeah.
Correct.
So once they complete it, then they will assign or sending a mail to info team. It's done from outside. You can connect with it.
For us, what it is, the data we don't bother about our network traffic.
Correct.
That network traffic is handling on both the side and IP addresses associated the both the VM. Okay. Yes or no?
Yes.
And if you verify here, I have turned off the one machine, and second machine should be now the load balancer has to be managing for the only VM2. If you type once again, it's going to be redirecting to the refresh page here. Can you guys accessing for the VM2? Anyone? Did you able to get connected VM2 web page?
It's connected by now VM web app 1.
Still
Earlier
web app.
it was earlier it was web 2, but now it's connecting with web app
No,
1.
it should not. Which server we down it? Which
Down
server? One server is
down it
okay. Still
2.
refresh. No, wait, it is not. Okay, we down the VM2.
Yes.
Now you're connecting to app 1.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
It's working.
How about others? Should be able to see only one machine, which is web app 1 only.
For me, it's web app one.
Because
Me also
others-
but
Okay. So earlier I was connecting web app 2. Now I should be able to connecting web app 1. I'm refreshing this page. It's checking is connecting. So just going to refresh it here. Okay, see that 2 it was connected earlier, right? It is disconnected. Now it's going to refreshing. It's connecting to web app 1 now. Let's log in. It's taking from the cache. Okay, go to here web app here, paste it and execute. Now see. Agreed, everyone?
yes, sir.
Now the question is, okay, before I ask the question, do we have any question in this?
So Neil, in this scenario, there is no, we are not using any database. Sorry, for the Azure network.
No.
Okay.
We are cloud administrator now, right?
Yeah. Actually, in my current organization, we manage the IBM Trariga tools. There is the also load balancing we are using,
Mm.
but like app one process server. The, behind this, the database server work for uh, sync the data
Okay,
between
that is there.
app
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
Obviously, you
that's
have
why
the
I'm.
database team. Database team is also be involved in
Yes,
this,
yeah,
not you.
yes, yeah, yeah,
Correct,
correct.
correct. Obviously, that is a database team is, but your part is taken care here. This entire so far we discussed.
Okay.
But I have a question here. This process, how securely we are going to managing? And
It is not secure because not
correct.
using SSP, at, at sorry,
And in a production,
HTTPS. Yeah. Mhm.
not HTTPS either. You can use it, but in a get in a load balancer point of view I'm talking about. Anyway, this is HTTPS using that would be there in a web portal, right? Your certification, all you configure that would be coming. But load balancer configuration, how securely we are managing? We just a standalone standard load balancer we are managing, correct? And also we are accessing over public IP address, correct? We're not accessing over the name, right?
Correct.
Yes.
We need to access by name. How to do the accessing by name? And have you heard about WAF process? In maybe in your production they would be using the WAF. WAF is web application firewall.
Yes.
The firewall using for securely accessing, right? That we'll
Right.
talk about little more in detail. It is coming here in a gateway. This is called as a the process comes under for application gateway in load balancer. That's the most important. Now we talked about standard right here, right?
Right.
Now when you talk
Yes.
about gateway is the more secure, which is WAF process. This is the more interesting, and you would be understanding how you are resolving the name is comes under for DNS, Azure DNS. And also you have the lot of security options to be enabled in a browser point of view, and network point of view need to process it to avoid giving them lot of loophole for the hackers and threatening our and its compliance part of the vulnerabilities. Whatever I discussed, this is not be the production point of view, just to understanding the load balancer how it works. This process is going to talk about next class how the securely we're going to managing. This is additional part, okay? It is not part of your syllabus. Since uh, you guys are more interested, I'm just wanted to explain you.
Thank you, Neel.
Good to go.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
I would recommend that hope please everyone has to be start practicing so far we discussed, and you would be getting a lot of confidence in this. And now you got to know that entire things, right? In the load balance a lot of components are there, a lot of features are there. We created the web, and the end to end we did it. We created, then we need subnetting network, NSG, right? And we created load balancer, configured load balancer, end to end we did and verified successfully. We verified that how the load balancer diverting the network traffic between the two web application. This is how the production is configured, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes. Neel.
Yes. Yeah.
That's it guys today. Thank you so much.